Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new science fiction thriller, Mortal. And this film is from writer and director Ovredal, who has done some great work with his films like Troll Hunters and Autopsy of Jane Doe, two films that I absolutely love and have over here in my collection somewhere. I was very excited once I realized this was from this director. And I really wanted to see what he did with this. The synopsis is intriguing. This young man, realizes he's been bestowed with the powers of like Norse gods, and this film definitely has a chronicle feel. It definitely has that, like, you're trying to be really grounded in reality, but you have this extraordinary person who has these powers, and how the rest of just normal people are reacting to this situation and the damage and the carnage that can happen from it. You have this awesome idea. This film definitely captures the same kind of atmosphere and vibe as Autopsy of Jane Doe and as Troll Hunters. It is a little bit more grim and dour for the subject matter, and I get that this is supposed to be like a darker, edgier kind of origin story for like a superhuman superhero, but I feel like it's just too zapped of charisma and energy. It's just so bleak that you don't really feel like it ever hits emotionally. And there's some tricky aspects about this film, because one, Nat Wolff, who's our lead actor in this film, doesn't really get a whole lot of material to work with, and basically doesn't do much besides like looking like angry and broody at times. And then you have aspects like he falls in love with a psychiatrist, and when, how, why, and it never feels like it really pays off. And then they use that subplot as such a big crutch moving forward plot-wise that it turns into, this just doesn't feel earned at all, and feels tacked on and cliched and doesn't really work as you would hope it would have. And in the end, you're just sitting there like, there's a moment towards the very end of this film where something's supposed to pay off with that, and you're just like, I don't really feel like what I'm supposed to be feeling here. And a lot of the performances are very muted, but Per Frisch, who plays Henrik, I feel like was a good, solid performance. He stood out in the rest of the cast, and there's some dark, intense moments. The score in this film works really, really well from composer Marcus Paus, and especially during the credits, it was really awesome. And it builds suspense, it builds tension. When this movie is going, it's going. The effects are arresting and like intimidating and really well visualized and realized, even though this probably doesn't have the biggest budget. And there's moments that are really intense and impactful, and you just wish that the rest of the film could capture that kind of level of intensity and passion in it. But I guess that's one way to put it. This film's so dour that it lacks like a passionate connection. And you spend most of the film just feeling kind of muted towards it, and you're just hoping that those moments where there's more action and thrills on the sci-fi side really kick into gear. It's an interesting take on Norse mythology. It's an interesting take on superheroes. And it could have been something special. It's just, as I mentioned, some of those things just get in the way, and this turns out to be a disappointing and not as satisfying experience. I think some people out there this will be enough to grab their attention and enjoy what they're able to deliver in terms of those genre thrills. But in general, I think most of the film just feels like it falls flat a bit. And it's pretty disappointing from Ovredal, because I love his work and I really wanted to love this film, and for me it just never really clicked. But those are my thoughts on Mortal. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.